In Rays of Light is an adventure game with some light puzzle and horror elements, developed and published by Sometimes You and Sergei Niskov. In Rays of Light was released in 2021 and is a remake of a 2012 game called In Light. Like many walking sims, there are no enemies and you traverse the environment at a steady pace, picking up items here and there like a crowbar or a lighter to solve various puzzles in order to make progress through the story and the game. You figure out what is happening in the world around you through environmental storytelling and notes you can pick up and read along the way. The world feels empty and sad, but it feels so serene and ominous at the same time. The game looks good graphically. Your environment looks like a torn down post-apocalyptic world with fallen down light posts and abandoned cars filling the streets. The music that is played usually expresses a melancholic feel that matches the course of the story. The game is pretty easygoing for the most part when it comes to moving from building to building and solving puzzles, although some puzzles may trip you up a bit. There is a tonal shift a little later on in the game, and the story and world may end up being more metaphorically driven than you may think. In Rays of Light is a very interesting and short adventure. Depending on how good you are with puzzles, you can complete this game in just a few hours. With a couple different endings, a replay of the game is encouraged. It's a neat game that doesn't do anything incredibly spectacular, but if you're interested or it catches your eye at some point, definitely pick it up because I don't think you'll be disappointed. I give In Rays of Light a 6 out of 10. Frightence is a first-person horror game developed and published by Prestige Interactive and was released in 2022. You play as a janitor of apartment number 17, which is apparently home to creepy happenings, and after an eviction notice, it is your duty to go through the building to make sure everyone has left. You experience a lot of different ghostly presences and frightening oddities while you explore the rooms of the building. Again, as a walking sim type of game, all you do is walk around the area and open doors to trigger events. The thing is, you have no clue what you have to do or where you have to go at any given time. You basically end up just walking down a hall and checking the doors, and if they don't open, you move to the next floor of the building and do the same thing until you enter a room where you interact with objects, until it lets you out of the room. Don't get me wrong. The tone and mood of the game is quickly set, with dark blood-splattered walls and creepy sounds echoing from the black abyss of the empty halls. You can't run in the game, so you move super slow, but I thought it was a nice touch that the janitor had a limp to make it believable. Graphically, the game emits a certain style that blends in with the creepy factor nicely. With that said, the game is pretty boring. Nothing ever really happens or gets revealed, and you are just walking the entire time with no real sense of urgency or care at all. The story falls flat the entire way through, and the ending is not satisfying in the slightest. It can be cool to run through if you're in the mood for a short, scary game, and I must admit, one jump scare did get me. I give Frightence a 5 out of 10. Escape First 2 is the second game of the Escape First series, developed and published by OnSkull Games, and they are puzzle escape room games that can be played with other people. The first game released in 2018, this one released in 2019, and the third game released in 2020. This was my first time playing any of these games, and also my first time experiencing any type of escape room type of content. I have never been interested in anything like that, and I always thought I wouldn't be good at it, but after playing this game, I think I should sign up because I did pretty well. There are a few different levels you can choose from, and walking through them and figuring stuff out is pretty fun. There is the Psycho Circus, the Escape Room Factory, and the Torture Chamber. All of the environments provide enough of a visual change that it doesn't really get tiring playing through them all. There are some downtime and frustrating moments of being stumped at a puzzle or figuring out math to find the solution to a problem, but I kind of figure that is part of the process and allure of things like this. Graphically, the game feels a little dated, but is serviceable, especially since you are focusing on the puzzles. The puzzles are all inventive and can provide some fun if you play with others, but I play this by myself, so it was kind of boring. I know the fun of the game is solving the puzzles, but after completing the levels, I never really felt a sense of accomplishment or reward. Also, the thrill of getting through the levels quickly died down after I had to stand around and think how to correctly lay out pieces to a problem that needed to be solved. I did like having the ability to completely skip some problems if I was thinking ahead. All in all, I think it is a solid game for puzzle lovers, but I found it a pretty average experience as someone who isn't interested in escape rooms. I give Escape First 2 a 5 out of 10.